Mickle?
What?
What do you know about gravity?
Well, if stuff falls down, it'll just fall down really fast.
Right, that's because the Earth has mass, right?
Yes.
Right. Now, what is gravity? It's the force of what? Isn't it the force of a couple of objects? And what happens?
It falls down really so fast.
Yeah. But what if there was no gravity?
Then it would not fall down.
That's right. How did you get to be so smart, girl?
I just know.
You just know. I know
Yeah.
it. Same thing with me. I just know stuff.
Me too. Even Trevor.
Yeah, well, we're going to get to the bottom of what Trevor knows. Hold on. Hey, Trevor. Now, what did we learn about, what is trajectory?
Science and physics.
Well, what is it?
It's, take a bow and arrow for example.
Okay.
If your target is, let's say, 5 feet away, you want to point it right at the target. Although if it's a mile away, you pull it back and you have to aim it up, so the parabola, or the path it takes,
Right.
can actually reach that. Because everybody knows that gravity is going to push an arrow down once it gets a few yards.
Right. The force of gravity on that arrow is going to actually pull it down. What else affects the parabola or the trajectory?
The speed it's launched at and the angle it's launched at.
Yeah, the speed.
45 degrees, not temperature, but 45 degrees.
A 45-degree angle.
A 45-degree angle is where your churro or arrow is going to fly the farthest.
Right. And the reason you bring up churro is because on the.
He had his Churromatic 3000.
Now, who's he?
Asa Kalama.
Yeah, and he was on a video that we saw by Walt Disney, right? He's an Imagineer.
Ooh, for Walt Disney.
Yeah, maybe one day you could be an Imagineer, right?
And also, cha-ching!
And buy your mom a big house.
You can live in an old shed at the back of my mansion.
Well, thank you, honey. That's spoken like a true jerk. No, hey, you're doing a great job with your science. You're interested in hunting, so that was kind of clever that you incorporated that bow analogy of a bow and arrow, because that really affects a hunter's skill. Is determined by how quickly he can determine a flight path or a trajectory for his arrow, right?
Or a Marine. He has to have a spotter with like a rangefinder to tell him how far away the target is. Let's say if it was a few yards away, you point it straight at it, because everybody knows that bullets go way faster and way stronger than arrows.
Right.
But if, let's say, it was 300 yards away, like my dad's 308 is zeroed in at, then he would tell him what he needs to do. He would raise up the gun and put the gun up and down so he could get this shot right.
Right. Absolutely. Hey, very, very good. Now, what about roller coasters and trajectory? What do you know about that?
The California Scream, or any roller coaster, when you get to the top of it, you're going to get a weightless feeling. Like, let's say, now, if you watch this, after this, you can do this experiment and you don't really need anything except your own 2 legs.
Mm-hmm.
If you jump, when you're at the peak of your jump, you're going to feel like everything's not moving until you land, and then everything falls back into place.
Oh, right. Well, how do they have to figure out trajectories? How does that affect how they build roller coasters?
Well, you also know that everything has to have a source, and the source is a chain will pull the roller coaster to the top, then gravity takes over, and it shoots it down, and the inertia keeps it going up another hill, and loop-de-loops and stuff.
Right, right. And now where is there zero gravity on a roller coaster?
Or 0G.
Right.
Like I said, at the peak of your jump or at the peak of the roller coaster.
Where else would you find that? Come back, get in the camera. Where else would you find that? In those loops that you go through when you're completely upside down?
Uh-huh. You'll get a weightless feeling because you're upside down pretty much, and you're pretty much like, your butt like falls down as if it were your head with some legs sticking out.
Right, right. So anyway, that was pretty cool. Did you think it was a good video?
Mm-hmm.
You think maybe you like science?
I love science. It's my favorite subject. Other than PE.
No, don't say that. PE should
And
be
lunch.
your favorite. PE and lunch, they were always my favorites. Well, hey, you did a fantastic job describing trajectory. And Miss Mickle, you, ma'am, are a brain when it comes to gravity. If I have any questions about gravity, I'm coming to you, young lady.
Hi, Mom.
All right. All right, kids. See you later. You did a great job.
The mosquitoes are getting us, so
Yeah,
that's it for TTST.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, kids.